So I recently had a comment asking me they had 20 credit cards and they're thinking about closing 2 to 3 credit cards and they had the longest length of credit. What did I think about closing credit cards? Now it's really going to depend, but let me know in the comments. What do you think about closing credit cards? Have you ever closed any? Or have you ever had any of your creditors close your credit cards? So in this video, we're going to talk about should you close credit cards? Let's get into it. So the other day I had did a video talking about going on to the experience site so that you can see this score ingredient that they have where it breaks down the 5 components of a credit score. So we have our payment history, our credit utilization, our length of credit, our new credit, and our credit mix. Now our length of credit is 15% of our score. So, closing credit cards, it could impact us, but we're going to get into what you should look into before you close those credit cards. So we're going to go over to the experience site and take a look. So right here, when you get to the experience site, you're going to go under credit, and then you're going to go under FICO score, and it's going to take you to, so right now it's showing me my Experian credit score, but right here it's taking you to the score ingredient. So it has all 5 components of our credit score. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the length of credit. And right now it's saying my length of credit is exceptional. So that's good. Our length of credit is 15% of our credit score, and it's stating that the FICO score takes into account how long your credit card accounts have been established, including the age of your oldest accounts, the age of your newest account, and the average of all those accounts. So right now you can see that my average is 9 years and 4 months, but my oldest is 19 years. So how crazy is that? By me opening up credit cards, it is decreasing my average age of accounts. And you can come over here to amount of new credit, and it's going to show you this is 10% of our credit score. And so I recently opened 2 credit cards because I had opened up the American Express everyday credit card and the Navy Federal Cash Rewards credit card on the same day, and that was a year and 2 months ago. So that was in December of 2021. And so that is decreasing my length of credit because I like to open up credit cards. So that's almost a 10-year difference. So when we take a look at the average age of accounts, what it's stating is that for high achievers, an average age of accounts of about 9 years or more is really good. So if you have about an average age of 9 years, you are doing really good. And then for the oldest age of account, is stating if you have, for higher achievers, if you have over 25 years, you're doing good. But I really feel like if you have anything over 10 years, you are doing good with your average age or your length of credit. Anything over 10, I think you'll be doing good. So when we want to consider if we should close a credit card, the first thing I'm going to take a look at is how old are those credit cards? And I'm usually going to say maybe 1 or 2 years I'll close a card. So for myself, now I will close a credit card. And so I want to say maybe in 2021, I closed my Chase Marriott Bonvoy. I had it 1 year, and when it was time to come up because it had a $95 annual fee, I was like, well, am I really using this credit card? And since I wasn't really using it and it was only a year, I said, I'm going to close it. Now, on the same hand, I had 2 credit cards with Bank of America, and they, around 2020, they were like slashing credit limits and closing credit cards. And so they had closed 2 of my Bank of America credit cards. But see, at this time, they were like 15 or 16 years old. So I was like, oh my goodness, this is really going to impact my credit score, and our length of credit is 15% of our credit score. So I was not really happy about it, especially since they just closed it out of nowhere. But the good thing is it did not impact my credit score because I still had 1 other credit card that I had opened up around the same time. So it didn't impact me. So that's why I'm saying if you are wanting to close credit cards, really take a look to see, are they the oldest of your credit cards? and then you can go from there. Now, the second thing to consider, if this is a card that has an annual fee on it, does that credit card company have a card that you can downgrade, so that way you don't have to close the account? You can just downgrade it to another account that doesn't have an annual fee on it. So let's say for myself, let's say with Chase ISG Premier, they have a Chase Travelers card that I could get. So opposed to having an $89 annual fee, I can get the Traveler and it doesn't have an annual fee, and then I would still be able to keep the credit card. Now, if they don't have a card to where you can downgrade it, if you have a high credit score, now in this comment, he had really high credit scores. I believe even one of his credit scores, he was close to 800. So you really have to consider, if I lose a couple of points, would it hurt me so bad? Because even if you lose those points, you're going to end up leveling it back off within a couple of months. So I would say, am I going to be opening up new credit within the next couple of months? And if I'm not going to be opening up new credit within the next couple of months, for myself, I would probably close it if I'm stating that I don't want those credit cards anymore. Because that's why it's very important for us to understand our credit score and our credit profile, so that we can, if we want to close a credit card and lose some points, it's not going to hurt us. You see what I'm saying? But if we have a low credit score, so I would say if you have anything less than a 700, then I probably would not close a credit card. I would just keep it open and kind of go from there. But if you have a high credit score, then I'm going to say, if you want to close it, then I would. And that's what I would do in that instance. So I told when I made the comment back, I said, take a look at your average age of credit. And since you have a high credit score, I would consider closing it if that's what you want to do, but other people might say no. So let me know in the comments, what would you say? Would you say not to close a credit card, let's say if it was 15 years old, or would you say to go ahead and close it? I think that's why it's very important for us to go ahead and take a look at our credit score and our credit profile, so that we know what's on there, and then we can make a good decision on whether or not we want to close a credit card. Because some people might say, okay, I don't mind losing a couple of points, especially if that card has a annual fee on it, because I really don't want to be paying an annual fee, especially if I'm not really using the card. I would rather lose a couple of points if you have the high credit score. So definitely go over to the Experience site, or even go on to annualcreditreport.com and pull your credit report. You should be able to do that free, but then also pull your credit scores. Now you will have to pay to pull your credit score. That way you can see where's your starting point, and then just kind of go from there. But in my overall opinion, I don't necessarily think, if you have a high credit score and you don't want the card anymore, I don't think it's anything wrong with closing it. But just be aware that you can lose some points, but you'll bounce back if you have a high credit score. So let me know what you think in the comments, and let us know what you would do if you were in this situation. It's not a game, sir.